Sir, TKS, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dharani. Thank you, Pugar. And my dear friend Manoja is there with a beautiful lecture which he had given. And I had our earlier, our friend who had spoken on, he was with me in the Lok Sabha between 2009 and 14. So I find it very happy to listen to the people who are outside what we call as the Dravidian families, Dravidian movement, and trying to understand or expressing their understanding about this movement and talking about this movement. The one thing which the Dravidian movement, right, for the last 100 years, the only one thing the Dravidian movement did was during their rule to include everybody, to include the marginalized, to include the people who were sidelined. In this inclusiveness has led to this kind of a growth. Right from the beginning, in 1921, when the Justice Party came to power, the first step they did was they empowered women to vote. Earlier, it was the franchise was only men franchise. They made it universal franchise. They included women to vote. So until then, women were not allowed to vote in an election. Their votes were not counted. So right since then, they had started this inclusive type of politics. Then in their administration, when the Dalits were not allowed to go in the buses, they issued a directive, the government issued a direction, an order that if any bus which does not take a Dalit in its travel journey, the license, the permit will be cancelled. Thirdly, when Dalits were not allowed to enter any school, the Justice Party government said, if you do not allow Dalits in your school permit will be cancelled. You cannot run the school. So this kind of taking everybody who were sidelined, who were marginalized, who were not even taken care of, who were treated as not ill-treated, I can say, who were treated as third-rate, fourth-rate citizens into the fold. So this is one thing which had ensured the growth in the state among all. So this equanimity, this uh, inclusiveness, which they had done through many legislations, had helped the state grow in this order. So the mindset of the leaders of the Dravidian movement from Justice Party was that nobody can be left out in a society. All human beings are to be respected. They should have their role to play. So they are also part of the human society. They are also part of a human society because a civil society should include all men. It cannot divide people into race under like what Manu Dharma says. That was the worst thing that the Dravidian movement did, and that was the reason for the success of the movement in the state and the entire growth of the state lies uh, lies in the inclusiveness of all sections of the society. At last, even in the last regime of our leader, somewhere Dr. Kalangar, between 2001 and 2006, no, that earlier, between 96 and 2001, he created a model village. In every rural area, he created a model village. The model village will have 100 houses, out of which they will have houses for Dalits, houses for OBCs, houses for upper caste. Houses were allotted free of cost. So he wanted to create casteless model villages which will set an example to other people in the remaining villages of the any district that we can also live like this. We can also unitedly live. We can also live in a way that everybody are friends. So that was the idea of the Dravidian movement. Inclusiveness is the major reason for this growth. So for 100 years, people fought for this. We had a difference. We had a difference. Periyar was an atheist. He was an atheist because it was told that this kind of class differentiation among the people are created by God. So he said, if a God can create such kind of a class difference, why should I believe in God? I will throw him out. Why should I think of God? That is why he became an atheist. What was said in Manu Dharma, he completely was against it. He was total propaganda was against it. He was not a leader of the Justice Party. He was not in Justice Party until 1939. When he was a Congress leader, there was a difference that some backward class people were not included in the Congress leadership. He quit the party. He started his own movement called Self-Respect Movement. That Self-Respect Movement is the first step by Periyar. He talked about self-respect and rationalism. He wanted people to find out what is a fact, not believe without any thinking. Even what he said, he used to say in the public meetings, even what I say, you don't take it as such. You think whether what I say is right or not. If I say what I said is not right, don't accept. That is how he went to the people. So this inclusiveness is one major area where which was the reason for the growth of the state and the success of the movement. Right from the beginning, leaders were very strong. Justice Party leaders were well committed to the cause. That is why they could implement so many things, so many programs, so many laws. The first GO, the communal GO, communal representation, that is the reservation, was passed in the year 1926, I think, by the Justice Party government, wherein it was called a communal rotation. It was not a reservation. Communal rotation in the sense they will divide the seats. The first it will go to a Brahmin, next it will go to a Muslim, then it will go to a backward class, then it will go to a Dalit. So in rotation, the jobs were given. That is the GO passed in the year 1926 by the Justice Party government. After that only, many non-Brahmin, Muslim and minorities and Dalits could enter the government job. That is the first phase. Secondly, he said, in all schools, women should be included in the government jobs, taken in the government jobs. So in all schools up to 5th standard, elementary schools, only women teachers should be appointed. That is one of Periyar's idea, which the government implemented. And now you can see in Tamil Nadu, in schools up to the class 5, only women are taken as teachers. So everywhere the DMK's idea was to include every section which was then and until then neglected in the name of caste, in the name of Varnashrama. That is the one success which made Tamil Nadu what it is today. That was because the leaders were committed. The second thing was, why the commitment to this cause? Because none of these Varnashrama dharmas were said in any of the literature in Tamil. Tirukural did not speak about Varnashrama. Tirukural was our language 2000 years back. Tirukural was written 2000 years back. What it said was, all men are born equal. That is one Tirukural. So that difference also is well made. The Justice Party made the people to understand that. See, Varnashrama is not ours. What Tirukural says is said for us. Whatever is said in our language is said for us. We are not against any language because every language represents a culture. And India has so many languages and so many cultures. We must mutually respect everybody. The unity in diversity, India is together today because of this mutual respect of various languages and cultures. When I go to Karnataka, I go and join the celebrations or functions they conduct in their way. When I go to Delhi, I will attend the functions conducted by my friends in Delhi in the way they are practiced, they have been following. I am not against it. I will not say that no, this is wrong. You should do what as to how we are doing. That is not the way. So the main thing is you know who you are. Secondly, respect every religion, every language, every culture of this country, because this country came into existence only in 1947. I can say India was ruled by 56 kings. They say 56, 57 kings. Only after independence, everybody got united. We became India one because everybody were against the Britishers. Even at that time, we did not fight against the Portuguese. So Goa became independent after some time. We did not fight against French. So Puducherry became part of India after some time. So India was never a single country. It was ruled by many kings. And every king, and there were a set of people and the culture is different. All these things we know. So Periyar's teaching of equality, Periyar's teaching of oneness among all people had a great impact. He fought for it. He did not bother about electoral politics. Periyar's success lies in not caring about electoral politics. He said openly, if I go for vote, then I may commit a mistake. I don't want votes. I want a change in the society. I want to ensure that everybody are equal. That is one thing Periyar did. There was one leader in the north who thought in that way. He is no more. He is Kanshiram. Of course, if he is alive, I think maybe you would have had a leader like Periyar or Ambedkar who worked for the downtrodden and who for the marginalized, who could have worked for the marginalized section. But he is not there. He is no more. The other leaders, like the socialist leaders, they thought of more of economic, removing economic inequality than the social inequality, what the communists thought of. Communist Party was bothered about the economic inequality, but not social inequality, forgetting about one fact that social inequality has led to economic inequality. Upper caste people are rich, Dalits are not rich. The Sudras are not rich, they are a little more than better off than the Dalits. So, economic strength of every society is related to their social positioning. That also we understood. That also our leaders had understood and worked for that. So that is the victory of the social movement, just social justice movement. That is the Dravidian movement in the south. For the past 100 years, we ensured that, including everybody in the mainstream, not sidelining any section of the society, be it the Dalit, be it the Shudras, there are no other classes. Of course, here the Varnashrama is not enforced. None of the kings in the south were Kshatriyas. All there were four kingdoms: Chera, Chola, Pandya, and Pallava kingdom. None of the kings were Kshatriyas. They were all now listed under OBC in the Sudras list. So this practice of Varnashrama was new. It came into South India after the 10th century. Before that, there was no Varnashrama. So we could easily get angry with the people who were trying to divide us. That was the one reason which helped Periyar also, that he could make the people of Tamil Nadu understand about equality, equanimity. That was the success of the movement for the past 100 years. I think that is the greatest success of the Dravidian movement, and because of which we had other leaders in South. In Kerala, we have a leader who fought for the lowest section of the society, like I just don't get his name, Narayana Guru, who fought for the Dalits of Kerala. So in every part of South India, there were leaders who fought for the abolition of this class system, Varnashrama system, and uh, empowering the section which was sidelined. See, simple thing. One of our colleagues also mentioned that in a family property, the share will go only to the men, boys of that family, not to the girls. A father's wealth will be divided among the, if there are 5 people and 2 girls and 3 boys, the entire family property will be divided among these 3 boys and these 2 girls will be left out. In Tamil Nadu, we made a legislation that this should be divided into 5 and even the girls should get equal share among the family property, after which the country, I think the government of India had brought in the same legislation that was after Tamil Nadu passing that legislation. So I can only say that inclusiveness is the reason for the achievement we had, the Tamil Nadu has in the social structure, in social justice, and the people, leaders were committed to inclusiveness, and still we continue to strive. And I don't understand certain things as to, you were talking about the constitution. See, I understand that after 1952, most of the laws of the Britishers were not in force, because after constitution is our law. So there may be 1 or 2 laws like the criminal law which was adapted from the Britishers. Rest of the laws were abolished. But this one law, this Manu Dharma, is still in force. I don't know which parliament is going to amend that law. If that there is any provision for the parliament to amend that law, if that is amended or that is scrapped, I think India will be in a better position. With these words, I thank my friends Pugar and Dharnidharan, and also Professor Manoj Jha, who had always been giving me directions. I will take, whenever I get a doubt, I will ask him. And we are good friends. No, we share the same ideology. So that is one thing. There are some very few people in the parliament who share the same ideology. And Manoj Jha was one of my friends who share the same ideology as what I follow.
Thank you, Elangovan sir. Thank you, Elangovan sir.
In this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you. Thank you so much for your enlightening speech.